In this video we're going to take a look at what the different map options look like on the TwoNav GPS devices. When you're on the GPS training store and you look up the TwoNav GPS devices, there's various options you can pick when you're purchasing a unit. I'm just going to pick the Adventurer 2 Plus here to give you an example. So with all of the TwoNav models that we stock, so that is the Terra, the Cross Plus and the Adventurer 2 Plus and Adventurer 2 Plus Moto, you get them all included with open source mapping for Western Europe preloaded. That's open source mapping. You can also, as part of the package from TwoNav, download open source maps for the rest of the world for free. In the drop down box of mapping options, we also have an option where you can get the unit with a 1 to 50 Ordnance Survey map or a 1 to 25 map. With the Adventurer 2 Plus we have the option of also 1 to 50 and 1 to 25. Please note, due to the memory capacity of the Terra and the Cross Plus, we only show the option for full either 1 to 50 for Great Britain or 1 to 25. With the Adventurer 2 Plus and the Moto version, there is a memory card you can put in the back. That's why we can offer that bigger map set where you've got both 1 to 50 and the 1 to 25 on the unit. Now I'm just going to show you something else that actually is included. So on the Adventurer 2 Plus, if I go to what's included, so as well as the European maps that are preloaded, which you can see here, we got the British Isles, Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain and Switzerland. So they're the preloaded OSM maps. They can be deleted and then put back onto the unit if you need to free up space, and we have got open source maps available for the rest of the world. But also with the Adventurer unit you can download TomTom road maps for the British Isles for free. Now if you've got one of the other units, the Terra or the Cross Plus, you don't automatically get the TomTom maps for free, but they can be purchased as a separate map. So what we're going to do in part 2 of this video, we're going to show you what all three map sets look like. So basically we'll show you the more detailed Ordnance Survey maps for Great Britain that you've got as an option from ourselves. We'll show you what the free open source maps look like, and also take a quick look at the TomTom maps. For the demonstration, what I'm actually going to do is send a route to the unit using the GPS training free planning software. So on the home page of GPS Training's website, we have an option called OS Planner. This is for Great Britain only, but it allows you to plan on a detailed either 1 to 50 map, or if I zoom in nice and close, it changes to a 1 to 25 Explorer map. There's no charge for using this service, and when you scroll down underneath the actual live map, there's videos on using the planner. So it's not something you actually download to your computer, you actually use the map live while you're actually on the internet and on this part of our website. Just going to give a brief demonstration of getting a route planned and onto the unit, but for more detailed information about planning routes and editing them, please watch the videos below our free planner. So where we are in Rothbury here, I'm just going to left click on the map and hold the left click of my cursor down just to move the map around, and I'm just going to actually click my first point next to where we're based at GPS Training, and I'm just clicking on the map to draw a nice simple route, and then we'll send this one to the unit. If I make a mistake while I'm doing it, I can just drag the little points around on the map, which we show in the videos underneath, which go through really detailed process of how you can plan a map on this software. No charge at all for using it, and you've got the access to the Ordnance Survey maps for all of Great Britain. When I zoom out, you'll see it'll change to the lesser detailed 1 to 50 map, and I'm just left clicking on the plus at the top to zoom back in. So we'll get this route planned, I'll give it a name, and then we're going to simply, with the TwoNav GPS connected to my computer, I'm just going to drop it into a folder on the TwoNav device using a USB cable. It will be exactly the same if you're on a Mac computer as well, just finding the device in Finder and sending the GPX file to the correct folder. We are going to have some new videos coming soon that will show you how you can use something called the TwoNav Link app on a mobile phone. So if you were planning on our free planner, I could simply email myself the route, and then I can use the TwoNav Link app to transfer this GPX file to my device. So I'm just going to take this to the top of Simon's side, and then I'll show you transferring it onto the unit. And then the part 2 video will show you what the different maps look like. One question we often get asked by customers is, if I was going off-road and I was planning on something like our free Ordnance Survey Planner, you might be using a third-party app, someone else's Ordnance Survey map. Can I get away without buying the unit without an OS map? We always think if you can get the Ordnance Survey map for your off-road activities, it's lovely to see that on the unit. It is going to give you the most benefit, but we will show you what it looks like if you were using the free open source maps. Also with the TwoNav devices, I should have mentioned, you do get the option of downloading one region of 1 to 50 mapping to the devices. So you can download something like the northeastern Cumbria as a free option at 1 to 50. But when we show you the second part of the video, I'll show you the more detailed 1 to 25 map, which is the map I've got on view now, where we can see all the extra little trails, and importantly we can see field boundaries as well, marked on the more detailed 1 to 25 map. Because as we'll zoom out, you'll see we don't see the field boundaries, and then as we zoom in, we can see the field boundaries marked. So that is definitely one of the advantages of the 1 to 25 map. So I'm just going to give this route a name. So I'm just going to type in Simonside where it said name, and simply scroll to the bottom of the page and select download GPX. That file has now went to my downloads as what we call a GPX file, which is compatible with most makes you'll find of GPS device, including TwoNav. Now on the Windows computer, all I need to do to get that GPX file onto my TwoNav device that's connected with the supplied USB cable is go to File Explorer. On a Mac you would just go to Finder, and you should see your TwoNav device listed as a connected device. I've got my TwoNav data here, my device, and I'm going to go into a folder called data. So it must go into the folder called data. That's where we're going to drop the GPX file or copy and paste it. So to find that file, I'm just going to go to my downloads, and that is where the GPX file went that I downloaded from the GPS Training Free OS Planner. I'm going to simply right click on there, and I'm going to select the option copy. So wherever you've got the GPX file you want to get on the device, simply copying it, and then if I go back to my File Explorer and back into the TwoNav data, it's the data folder we need to drop it in, anywhere in a blank space. So if I go into data, I'm just going to right click on the right hand side where I've got a blank space and select the paste option and just say yes to transfer it. I've now got that Simonside file. Now I've noticed I'd already sent one earlier, so just so I don't have any confusion, I'm just going to delete these two that are already there. So we've only got the one GPX file. Just be careful if you are in the data folder on your TwoNav, you do not delete anything else out of the unit. The only thing we want to be deleting is anything to do with .gpx, so any routes that you've sent to your unit that you no longer require. A nice tip with the TwoNav is you can actually create folders within this data folder. So I could actually right click in a blank space and say new folder and actually call this one Northumberland routes, or just simply Northumberland. We know it's going to be routes. And then when I actually turn the unit on, if I put this Simonside one into the Northumberland folder, we'll see that in the routes menu on the TwoNav device, a folder simply called Northumberland. So that's part one of this video, just to show you how easy it is using a computer to copy and paste a GPX route file into your TwoNav device. And part two of the video will show you what the maps look like with that route loaded on the device. So now we're going to show you part two of the video where we show you the different maps on the TwoNav GPS device. I'm just using the Adventurer 2 Plus for this demonstration. So at the top of the screen in the maps list menu from the main menu, I've got British Isles OSM, the one that's selected with the little blue eye icon. I've got some other countries on here. I have deleted some of the preloaded ones because I wanted to free up some memory. I have got Italy and Portugal, but I'm just going to leave the more basic map on first and then show you what the route looks like overlaid on the map. So when you're using it just as a GPS without a route, you're not going to find the open source map, the most detailed map. When you're in an urban environment and you're just looking really for streets, that sort of information, maybe you're cycling with the map, you can use the map for that sort of activity. But I think really when you're doing off-road activities, you want to look at a more detailed map, like the Ordnance Survey Maps for Great Britain, or if you look on TwoNav's map selection, where they have got over 30,000 maps available, you'll see for many other countries out of Great Britain, they've got other more detailed maps available as well, very similar to likes of our Ordnance Survey Maps. So I'm just going to go to the routes menu, and I'm just going to display that Simonside route that I created in my Northumberland folder, and then I'm going to go to the map screen and we'll show you what it looks like. So I haven't actually started navigation, so with the TwoNav you can pick lots of different colours and styles to have for your route, but you can see this blue line on the screen. So if I was simply following that line for navigation, that's not going to be a problem. But you'll see with the map, I'm just going to move it around a bit, as we go into the countryside, we're not seeing a lot of data or a lot of detail. We are seeing street names, but I'm just going to go up to the end where we were going up into the actual hills. And again, see the blue line absolutely fine, but you can see on the actual map itself, there's not an awful lot of detail. But if you're someone who wants to plan routes on a more detailed map, like the Ordnance Survey map I used, that's great. But the map itself, we're not seeing a lot of detail on the open source map. We will see streams, we'll see rivers, we'll see streets when we're in a more urban environment. We can see we've got some names on here. We've got a main road. I'll actually just take it back to where we are at the minute. So we're back in a more urban environment. And then if I move along to where the villages that we're based in, or based near, should I say, and if I just zoom out a little bit, you'll see in an urban environment, I've actually got lots of icons to do with shops and places of interest. I can see the main streets fine. I can actually see this little street coming off the main road with a tag and a name. But actually off-road, just zoom right out again, we're not seeing an awful lot as we go up into the hills. If I go north out of the village, where we have lots of paths and hills, I can see some crags marked. I can see place names, but I'm not actually seeing a lot of detail or the paths, etc. marked. So really, we look at the open source maps really as a map for when you're in that more urban environment. Of course, it could be you're cycling on the roads and using the map for that sort of activity. But it was just to give you an idea what those maps are about. So you are seeing something in the background rather than seeing nothing at all. We will see little hamlets with place names, but we're not seeing all the field boundaries, footpaths, etc. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to recenter the map back to where we are, and I'm now going to put on a couple of levels of Ordnance Survey Map, should I say. So this is the open source mapping, just to show the change. So I'm just going to go to the main menu, into maps. I'm going to turn off the open source one, and my GB Topo is actually my Ordnance Survey Maps. I'm now going to go back to the map screen, and then just got to zoom out just for that one to load, and you can see the difference hopefully straight away. So this one is actually the more detailed 1 to 25 map for Great Britain. It's actually the one I planned on when I zoomed in on our free planner, so it should look very familiar. We can see the same paths that I planned on, and as I move the map around, we'll get up into the countryside, and then you'll see actually we are going to see lots of information. We've got field boundaries. The little green diamonds in Great Britain, that's the symbol for a long distance trail. Green dashes for the footpaths on a Land Ranger map. But we can see here there is lots of information, and we'll just get up to the hills here. Got the hills marked, should have the Dove Crag marked, and we'll have the Simonside Hill marked as well when we get to it. So just let that settle down there. So this is the more detailed Ordnance Survey 1 to 25 map. If I zoom out on the screen, you'll see it changes to the 1 to 50 map. So that's the lesser detailed Land Ranger maps. You do get one region of this included with your purchase. So fair enough, not as detailed as the 1 to 25 map, but it's what we're familiar with if you're familiar with the 1 to 50 Ordnance Survey maps. So that is the map in the village here using a 1 to 50 map. And the last one I'll show you, I'll go onto the TomTom map that we've also got on this device. So you don't get the TomTom map for the British Isles included with all the devices for free. It's just the Adventurer 2 Plus and Motor that we stock, but you can download it from TwoNav's map shop. So I'm just going to go into the maps. So I'm going to now turn off the GB Topo one, and I'm going to put on my TomTom map, and then we'll come back out and we'll show you the TomTom map. So this is based on the TomTom road navigation maps. So again, you wouldn't normally be using this for a route off-road, but you can see, I can actually see the blue line across the route, but really the TomTom map is designed for your road navigation. So again, it's going to be very similar to the open source map. It's just got potentially more detailed information to do with when roads change due to the data coming from TomTom, and TwoNav do updates for the map where you can purchase updates. So if I zoom right out, I'll just move it onto a main road here and zoom in. And again, you can see this is the sort of map we've got. It's a typical sort of car road navigation map. So again, not really for off-road stuff, but for your road navigation, absolutely fine. So again, that's the TomTom map. So I'm just going to go back to, I'll actually just take this to one more village that's close by to where we are, village along Framlington. So we can see street names here. As we zoom in, obviously we see slightly different information. While I've got that on view, I'm actually just going to go and change the map now and put it back to that free open source map that you can use on the units. I'm just going to go and select the open source one again, the British Isles one, go back to the map, and then again you can see that is the free open source map. Again, we're in a more urban environment, it's in a village, so again, road names, place names for road navigation, absolutely fine. But I think when you're off-road, you really want to be looking at, if it's in Great Britain, the Ordnance Survey Maps, or you'll see TwoNav have lots of options. If I just bring ours back on, lots of options for other countries where there will be more detailed mapping available. So you can see then that's now the more detailed 1 to 25 map. And if I zoom out, changes to the 1 to 50 map. So I hope this video has been useful if you're just trying to decide what mapping to go for. Just remember, if initially you don't get a map with the unit, of course you will be able to still follow a route and have a route line on the screen. So I put that route on that we loaded that was going off-road. So this route line will still appear. It's just really what mapping you want to see in the background. And I think if you're doing any walking or hiking where potentially you're going to go off the beaten track and move away from a route you've planned, or you're just using it to see yourself across a map when you're off-road, you really want to look at the options with the Ordnance Survey Maps for Great Britain. Or if you're going to another country, look at some of the more detailed options that are available from the TwoNav map shop. So hope you found this video useful, and thanks for watching.